It is all falling apart for Donald Trump. And of course, I say that with a smile because it is so incredible to watch his MAGA stooges turn on him, to watch his propagandists in the media turn on him as he devastates our economy. Now, I wish it didn't have to come to this for them to oppose Donald Trump. I don't know why January 6th wasn't enough, but I guess we can enjoy a little opposition while it is happening. Donald Trump certainly isn't enjoying it, and some of the most loyal stooges at the Fox propaganda outlet certainly aren't as well, and that is what we saw from Harris Faulkner, who was in an absolute panic as a MAGA Republican in the Senate ripped into Donald Trump and his tariffs. We're going to get into all of it, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into that clip, there have been a couple of great moments on Fox lately, which I know sounds surprising to say, but with Donald Trump's presidency completely collapsing, Democrats are going on and just mocking these hosts. That's what we saw from Senator Chris Coons, who infuriated Martha McCallum, and I think we just got to take a look.
This administration, Martha, fired the Inspector General of USAID when he filed complaints about the waste of huge amounts of food aid left rotting on docks.
Let me ask you something.
Rather than dealing with that fraud, they fired him.
I'm amazed by, so you're saying that I'm assuming that there's waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's equally surprising that you are assuming that the government is functioning in an efficient way when we all know.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Well, then what has
Martha, there are inspector generals in every single agency that are there to find waste, fraud, and abuse.
They've done a fantastic bang-up job. I mean, when you look at the number...
And to start the administration by firing all of them does not suggest a deep interest in listening to these career nonpartisan inspectors general about waste.
No, you can't just like put your fingers in your ear and go, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like it's not happening. We all know
that's not at all what I'm doing, Martha.
Is not
Let me repeat the point.
Run. And these people...
Elon Musk says that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and this president has fired the relevant inspectors general, who are the people most capable, not a bunch of 20-year-old software engineers with no previous government experience.
Did you watch this interview, Senator? Did you watch the interview? Did you watch this?
Accountants.
Did you watch the interview?
Which interview? I don't know what you're talking about.
The one I just
You're
played
yelling
you from.
so much.
No, I can't, because I can't get a word in edgewise. I'm trying to ask you a question. That's my job. So
you go right ahead.
There was an excellent panel on Special Report. These are not 25-year-old, you know, whatever people have been calling them. They're very seasoned executives who have made a lot of money and run good businesses efficiently, where they only use the number of people to get the job done that they needed. They gave up their livelihood and they left their families and they came to Washington to try to give their expertise to some of these agencies that are so sclerotic and wasteful that they are not able to function.
I just had to start with that clip. I've been rewatching it. It cracks me up. What is happening at Fox is a complete meltdown, both trying to stop Democrats from saying the truth on their network and defending Donald Trump. And Jeanine Pirro did that in one of the most outlandish, just like pieces of propaganda I've ever seen. We're going to check that out later. But of course, we wanted to see Harris Faulkner panic as John Kennedy, yes, one of the most sycophantic Trump stooges, say what we all know to be true. These tariffs are bad. And it was not a great interview right here.
Well, I didn't know what China would do. I didn't know and still don't know what other countries will do. I've said consistently since the president made his tariffs announcement that we're in uncharted waters. We're in the economic unknown. The president's long-term goal is laudable. I support it. It's not complicated. America is rich. We buy a lot of stuff. Every business in the world wants to sell to us. The president is saying to those businesses in other countries, if you want to sell to us and take our money, then you need to move your business to America and hire our people. Now, who can be against that? Again, though, I've also been careful to say we're in uncharted waters. The stock market matters. And before I talk about it, let me say the economy is fundamentally sound. We just got a good jobs report.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade places with any other country in terms of our economy. But the stock market does matter. About 62% of Americans have money in the market. The wealth effect is real. There's reliable data that shows that for every $1 that the stock market or one's holdings in the stock market goes down, people spend 25 cents less. Well, we're a consumer-driven economy, and if people are spending less, that's going to affect your GDP. And so I'm not going to bubble wrap it. What's happening is not good. Now, will it continue? Will we find a bottom and then it'll start to go back up? I hope so. That's what I'm pulling for. Yeah. But if it doesn't, we'll have to recalibrate.
He was kind of dancing around it, but then he did say it. People are not happy. Farmers in his state, not happy. You don't have to be a farmer. You can be just a person to realize that Donald Trump is crashing the economy, and it ultimately will impact you. Everyone is feeling those effects around the globe as well. This is insanity. Just one man's, I was going to say hubris, but ignorance, arrogance, and anger towards anyone who will oppose him in any way. It's what this is all about. I saw Tim Miller call it a small measuring contest, not a big, you know, the appendage that I'm referring to, measuring contest. It's pretty small with Donald Trump, as we've gotten on the record a couple of times. But this is just an absolute disaster. And what's even worse is like the Fox hosts breaking their brains trying to defend it. Just listen to Janine Pirro right here.
And, you know, the uncertainty in the stock market, it isn't necessarily a negative. It can be an indication that things are going to work out. It's just that they're uncertain right now. And you got a president who's swinging for the fences. You got
clearly a couple of boxes of wine went into that take before it was delivered. Uncertainty is good for the markets. What does that even mean? That this uncertainty could potentially be good? Businesses like certainty. The American economy, the strength of the dollar is built around the certainty, not just of our economy, but our laws being followed. And Donald Trump is breaking both at the same time. This is the stupidest trade war in history, launched by the stupidest president in history. And it's putting all of us in not just this sense of economic chaos, but actual real danger. And it's what Tim Kaine called out in a clip right here.
President Trump deemed these tariffs as, quote, reciprocal tariffs, but I got another phrase for them. They are economic idiocy. And I want to talk about why they are so bad, why the policy is bad, and when the policy is so bad and seemingly inexplicable, something else is going on, and I want to conclude by focusing on what that something else is. Mr. President, I went to the University of Missouri and I majored in economics, and I had some amazing professors, and I just want to give them a shout out. John Coolman, Whitney Hicks, Walter Johnson, Ron Roddy. I had some amazing professors at Mizzou. I graduated with an honors degree in economics in 1979, and if they were standing here with me, they would say, Tim Kaine, you are my student. I hope you remember what we talked about in these economic classes, and they would point out what I'm about to point out, why these tariffs announced broadly against virtually every nation in the world at the say-so of one person, a national sales tax falling on American consumers at the say-so of one person, why they are in fact economic idiocy. They will hurt our families, they will hurt our businesses, they will hurt our farmers, and all the economic signs suggest that President Trump is flipping the world's strongest economy toward recession. When we were kids, we all learned the fairy tale, I think it's a Grimm Brothers fairy tale of Rumpelstiltskin, the mysterious figure that turned straw into gold. What we are now seeing is Trumpelstiltskins turning gold into straw. President Trump started with the strongest economy in the world the day he was inaugurated. a strong stock market, strong consumer confidence, strong growth rates and growth projections, manufacturing up, infrastructure up, America building again. And in 2 months, his chaotic economic idiocy has turned it around where the American economy, just go turn on the TV right now and look what's happening in the markets. The American economy has nothing but red lights and question marks all over it because of the economic idiocy. Economic idiocy is a strong charge for me. I'm not one to do a lot of name calling, but that's exactly what this is. And let me focus on some examples from President Trump's Wednesday announcement that show how idiotic these tariffs are. Japan and South Korea, two great allies of the United States. We have been working very carefully to deepen the relationship they have with each other and with us, to check against the nation that we all in this chamber and President Trump also views as our chief adversary, China. President Trump, on his Wednesday announcement, imposes a 24% tariff on goods coming from South Korea and a 25% tariff on goods coming from Japan. This is no way to treat a friend. And guess what these friends are doing? They met with China to talk about a free trade agreement. They met with China to talk about how they need to band together to protect themselves from the economic policy of the United States. Japan and South Korea are two of the best allies we have in Asia or anywhere in the world. And the relationships we have had with both nations have been very strong, whether it's military to military cooperation, trade, diplomacy, work together on humanitarian issues, on educational exchanges. Donald Trump's tariffs are chasing Japan and South Korea into China's arms.
Donald Trump is the stupidest person in this country, and he has decided that it is his brain that knows how to somehow reshape the global order. For the worse, what America used to be was the true leader of the world. And now we are transactional. That's how we feel to the rest of the world, that it is all transactional. We used to have values that grounded our actions, what we cared about, what we fought for. And now it's just how can you benefit Donald Trump? Pretty soon, when the U.S. might be in danger, what's best for Europe might not be what's best for Donald Trump. And when everything's transactional, that's a tough place to be. It's scary. And it's what we got to call out on the show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.